Hello and welcome to the show supported by Mediaproxy. Now, lighting solutions are arguably one of the most important elements to achieving the look that you want in a creative environment.
Yes, they need to be controllable, reliable and easy to work with, and for that reason we use these lights ourselves. So let's welcome Ian Muir from Quasar Science to tell us a bit more about some new products they have.
Hi Ian, good to see you.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, we're very well, thank you very much. So tell us, what's new from Quasar?
So we have an upcoming release of two new products, the Rainbow 2 and the Double Rainbow.
And are these completely new products, or are they upgrades on previous products like what we're using?
They are, I guess, in one instance they're an upgrade, and in the case of the Double Rainbow, they're a completely new product. So the Rainbow 2 is the next release of the classic Rainbow, which many people use and liked,
Right.
but it has a large amount of new functionality, all of which is also available in the Double Rainbow. So to give you some idea, this was the kind of classic, This is the classic Rainbow 2. It's a T12 format, much like a fluorescent tube.
Yeah.
And this is the Double Rainbow, which for obvious reasons, as you can see, is twice the height.
Yeah.
So it has twice the illuminant, for the same length of light, it has twice the illuminant real estate, shall we say, in terms of output, which makes it, I guess it gives it more characteristics, you have better creative control because of the fact that it's a bigger surface and you can use it vertically or horizontally to achieve different effects, as well as all the technical benefits that come with it. If you like, I can extol a few of those virtues without turning this into a demonstration, but I'm happy to do that.
Please do.
It's got a 5-color chipset on board, so it produces great colors, great broad spectrum of white between 1750 Kelvin and 10,000 Kelvin. Produces nice saturated colors as well as some fairly clever effects, all of which we're adding to as time goes on. The spectrum is clearly something that we major on much at Quasar. We have a color scientist within the organization, Tim Kang, great guy, who spends a lot of time formulating recipes and such like for our fixtures to ensure that you get the best rendition of color on camera that you can, regardless of how you're using the products, be it in film, in broadcast, or as a freelancer run and gun style environment. So it's a large part of what we do. In terms of how these differ from the previous Rainbow ones, firstly, the fixtures are completely pixelated, so you can control every single pixel on each fixture. So within the range of the Rainbow 2, there is a 2-foot, a 4-foot, and an 8-foot fixture, which have 10, 24, and 48 pixels respectively. And there's also the Double Rainbow, which has the double height tube, which has 20 and 48 pixels respectively. Now, to control these, you can either use the intuitive menu system on the end, you can use Bluetooth, and we have an app coming down the track shortly. It has on board wired and wireless DMX, but importantly, it can also be controlled directly by streaming ACN and ArtNet. One of the issues that the industry is beginning to face with fixtures of this nature is when you're running them with complete pixel control, they actually take up quite large DMX footprints. And so as a consequence of just a piece of DMX cable really isn't sufficient to carry the required data to control them effectively. So you have to have recourse to protocols like streaming ACN or ArtNet, which run over Ethernet, which means you can transfer multiple universes of DMX down one cable, which makes life a lot easier.
So Ian, for somebody looking at all the different lighting solutions out there, now this may be a silly question, but we'll go with it. What are the advantages of a tube style light over a panel light or a traditional round light?
That's a good question. I mean, I guess the first thing is portability, really. I mean, clearly a 1x1 is a fairly portable item. But one of the joys of a tube or a linear LED, particularly in the case of the Double Rainbow, is that you can use it in multiple orientations. So, for example, if I use it in this orientation here, it's a broad source. It's a soft source because it's wider than my head, for example. But the moment you put it on its end, it's a relatively narrower source and provides a harder output. So you have immediately two tricks with one pony, essentially, in terms of what it will do for you. So I guess it's about that flexibility. And then if you factor in the mounting system that we've incorporated, the Ossium mounting system, which allows it to go onto pretty much any standard grip, be it a junior receiver or a grip head or one of those sorts of things, it's really quick to deploy. So what we've tried to major on is producing a tool that will make you the best you can possibly be creatively. We don't try and tell you that our lights are going to turn you into Sir Roger Deakins, because sadly they're not. But they will make you the best you can be from a creative perspective.
And the functions that you've got in there, are they the same across the board? Is it the same level of functionality throughout the new range?
There is a slight difference between the Rainbow 2 and the Double Rainbow, and that's in the area of communications. With the Double Rainbow, because it can receive, well, they can both receive streaming ACN and ArtNet wired and wirelessly. The Double Rainbow can also output. It works as a communications node, so it can output either streaming ACN or DMX. So you send in a signal with streaming ACN, for example, and output a DMX signal, which can go on and be daisy chained to a fixture which doesn't have the same level of communications capability. So it works like a comms node on your network. So it just means it gives it more functionality and makes it a more useful device within your lighting environment.
I mean, one of the things we like about the kits or the lights we use here is they're part of a kit. So you've got different sizes in the kit. Is that the case with this new range, or do you buy them separately? How do they come?
You can buy them individually, as certainly in the case of the Rainbow 2 as a 2 foot, 4 foot, or 8 foot fixture, or in the case of the Double Rainbow, a 2 foot and a 4 foot fixture. And they both have the same menu system and the same level of control. One thing I should point out about the menu system, we're moving into the world of what's known as psycho-physical control. So, for example, when you're controlling the color temperature on the unit, historically most units will change by 1 Kelvin at a time. Now, if you're altering the color on a unit and you're up at the cold end, say towards daylight and beyond, a very large change in Kelvin is a very small change in actual color difference on the fixture. So what we incorporate is the notion of just noticeable difference. So when you're changing the color on the unit, it will jump in steps which are just noticeably different to the eye. So it becomes a more intuitive fixture to use. And I think as time goes on, we'll develop more of that kind of functionality into our fixtures, so they become it's intrinsic in terms of how the operator uses them and how they can concentrate on what they're trying to do as opposed to what the fixture's doing.
And with this whole new set of kit, have you got any new accessories coming out alongside all of these?
Yes, we do. I mean, apart from the mounting accessories, which are battery plates and such like, there's already an egg crate coming out. We're evaluating the option of different lenses for the front, so you can increase the illuminance surface by a factor of about 4, which makes it a much bigger and more flattering soft source. There are various powering options, so you can power multiple fixtures from one power cord through it uses True 1 as the mains in adapter, which is very industry standard, but we have a molded 2 or 4 outlet True 1 adapter. We have various DC options in terms of how you power from one battery or multiple batteries or multiple fixtures from one battery. So we try and cover as many options as possible so that when you're rigging it, it's not onerous and there aren't boxes for this and boxes for that. It's just one fixture, one power cable, one accessory to make it work. So again, it becomes more intuitive in terms of how it functions within our industry.
That's which is going to lead me on to what I was going to ask next, and you may have sort of already answered it. A lot of these lights have the integral battery, and when somebody's considering using them on set for long periods, what are the actual powering options, and what's the runtime of these new lights?
So it depends. Firstly, they run on mains, obviously, and it's True 1 straight in. There's no external transformer, so it's a much tidier solution. And when it comes to batteries, they'll run, in the case of the Rainbow 2 25 and 50, they run off a standard V-lock, as will the Double Rainbow 50 run off a standard V-lock. The benefit, I guess, the internal battery is a great thing. There's no denying it. I guess one of the issues that we've found is that you spend quite a lot of time managing the battery life of the fixture on set. And so if you're using V-lock and the battery goes flat, it's simply a question of swapping the battery, not the entire fixture, and reconfiguring a replacement to go in. So we try and make it, I guess, just easier to use. In the case of the Rainbow 2 100 and the Double Rainbow 100, they have a power requirement of 24 volts. So because they're a much bigger fixture, but they still will run on batteries, obviously. And that's probably more of a rental fixture and pertaining to the kind of infrastructure that rental companies have for those sorts of fixtures.
Finally, I guess, next, when and where are we going to be able to get these?
When and where? Soon and everywhere. Is the answer. They'll be available from mid-March from all good resellers, essentially. So the launch, we're going through the launch process now, getting everyone up to speed, and we'll hit the ground running in about 6 weeks.
Great. Thank you very much, Ian. Thank you for that. And thanks for coming in and speaking to us. We'll send everyone to the Quasar Science website. Thanks to Mediaproxy for their support of KitPlus TV, and thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and check out the podcast versions of these shows if you're on the move. You can find out more at kitplus.com/podcast or whatever podcast provider you use. We'll see you next time.